how do we approach the management of somebody who comes to you with thyrotoxicosis and Graves' disease, particularly in children. So without any doubt, start on methimazole. If the FT4 is very high, more than 50, start from 0.5 and above. Otherwise, 0.3 will be a reasonable dose to start off. Now, after that, if there is no response, so if the patient is not responding, you can go up to maybe 0.75 to 1 milligram per kg. Still no response. In that case, you have to think of a definitive treatment. Go for age. If the age is less than 5 years, as we have discussed, you don't have any option. You have to go for surgery. Use potassium iodide or other agents, beta blockers, steroids to control, and then go for surgery. If it's more than 5 years, then you have an option of radioactive iodine. Size is more than 80 grams, definitely surgery. Size is smaller, think of a radioactive iodine. So this is the non-responder group. Now, this will be the most common. So I would say hardly maybe 10% will be there who will not respond at all. Most people will respond. The problem is that they will not remit or they will have recurrent relapses. If you have got a response to methimazole, which may be 80-90% cases here, then you decide what is the long-term chance of remission based upon risk factors. So if you have got a large goiter in a male with a FT4 initially more than 50, TRAB is high, there is a low chance of remission. If you have got a female who is pubertal, whose FT4 was not very high and TRAB was not high, there is a good chance of remission. Now, based upon that, if you have got no risk factors, usually 3 years may be a time when you can say, okay, let's give it a try, especially if your dose is 2.5 to 5 milligrams. Don't try to stop before 2 to 3 years. There's no point, no hurry in that. If, however, you have got a high risk factors, unless the patient is hypothyroid, now suppose somebody becomes hypothyroid on 2.5, you will stop. Otherwise, you better continue treatment till 5 years. So there's no randomized trial, but people suggest that those who have got a bad risk factor profile, give it up to 5 years, good risk profile up to 3 years. Now, after that, if the remission is not achieved till 3 to 5 years of age, then maybe you are there for the definitive treatment as discussed based upon the age. If you have remission, then remission, it is a lifelong disease. You can still have a relapse. So you wait for relapse. If there is no relapse, as was discussed earlier, you monitor. You monitor basically initially 3 monthly, then 6 monthly, then annually, but you have to lifelong monitor. But if there is relapse, then you have an option to maybe if the patient is on a better risk profile, start on methimazole. Otherwise, you can go again for a definitive therapy. So this is how you can do. So the key message is start methimazole. 80% will have response. Now, if there is a good chance of remission, try considering at 3 years, otherwise at 5 years. Around 30-40% will have a remission by this point. Out of those who have remitted, 30-40% will relapse. So ultimate final remission will be around 20-25%. That's what you have to tell. If there is no remission, relapse, no response, then you go for definitive therapy, less than 5 years surgery, more than 5 years large gland surgery, more than 5 years small gland, go ahead more with radioactive iodine. So this would be the overall summary as far as the approach of management. We'll quickly go through a few cases. 12-year-old girl with tremor, high FT4, TSH is low, swelling is there, there is no eye sign, tremor is there. What are the diagnoses you think here, Sayan?
Goiter is there, most likely it will be a case of Graves' disease.
So mostly it is a Graves' disease. So how will you start treatment? Will you give methimazole, PTU, radioactive iodine, or you will go for?
So first line is methimazole.
So you will go for methimazole. That will be your primary first line. Don't do anything else. PTU is anyway contraindicated. Now on methimazole, Vibha, 30 milligram dose and develop sore throat. What will you do? So you stop methimazole and do a CBC. CBC was done, which was more than 1500, 4400. So you don't need to stop. This was just a simple infection. You just follow up and restart again from there. Very importantly, first 100 days is the most common time. 0.3% is the prevalence in that regard. So at 2 months, Naveen, FT4 is in the normal range. TSH is still low. What will you do?
So in this case, we can reduce it by around 25.
Yes. So what we are seeing here is that there is a significant reduction. So we reduce by 25 to 50% because FT4 has become normal. So this is a common phenomenon to think of, to reduce dose in that setting. Now at 4 months, now FT4 is 4, Dr. Pratik, TSH is 3.4. So FT4 has come down. What will you do now? So reduce dose further because we now clearly have a further reduction. So you can have a good reduction which happens over time. 18 months cyan, you are to 2.5 milligrams, FT4 is 8.2, TSH is 12.8. What would you do?
Even on this dose, I'll stop.
So as I said, we have to ideally give 3 to 5 years, but if somebody is hypothyroid at 2.5, you should stop. So this is a situation, you have response, risk factors, stop. Now what happens is that he has a recurrence. What would you do? So because he was getting such good response, often giving anti-thyroid drug again would be what is important. Otherwise, you go for a radioactive iodine if the patient doesn't really want to go ahead with a medical therapy in that regards. Now, follow up after 2 months of radioactive iodine, FT4 is 18, TSH is 0.01. So you follow up after 2 months again, because it's coming down. TSH may be low for a long time. This is what Pratik was saying. Now again, your FT4 has now gone up. So it means, so you have to give another course in that setting. So this is a relapse. Retreatment would be required. Second dose is required. And then you became hypothyroid in 3 months. So some patients may require a repeat dose in that setting. Now, 4-year-old girl with tremors, Dr. Naveen, FT4 is high, TSH is low, small goiter, increased uptake. What will you do?
So in this case, considering girl, 4-year-old girl, so we need to initial treatment will be starting with.
So methimazole, and this seems to be a small goiter, so maybe a good response in that regards. Dr. Pratik, 15-year-old girl with thyrotoxicosis, FT4 is 48 and TSH is low, large goiter. There is an eye sign which is present. So what do you think?
High dose you have to start.
So start with methimazole, but there is a less chance of remission in this setting. So what will you think of a definitive treatment here?
Large goiter and eye signs. So eye sign is present, then so we will avoid radioactive iodine. Large goiter again more towards.
So it goes more towards a surgical intervention. It's more than 5 years. So if the large goiter is there, think of surgery as a modality in that setting. But start with methimazole first. And if you're preparing for surgery, you have to give iodine and iodide in that regards. So, 17-year-old girl with neck pain, FT4 is high, TSH is low, no goiter or eye signs.
So FT4 levels are not that high. No goiter, no eye signs, so most likely subacute thyroiditis.
Okay, so ESR is 100 and there is reduced uptake. So this is a subacute thyroiditis. What will you do?
So management will be for pain and second will be for the increased sympathetic stimulation.
So you will give a beta blocker and probably prednisolone also in that regards. Now this case we already discussed in the class last time. 8-year-old boy with throat pain, high FT4 slightly, low TSH, severe tenderness, ultrasound showed abscess. So this is acute thyroiditis. But very importantly, you have to look after you have drained the thyroid abscess to think of a pyriform sinus. Dr. Vidhu is asking, is there a possible relationship between hyperthyroidism and B12 deficiency or megaloblastic anemia? Anybody? It is more of a hypothyroidism, so it is most likely an unrelated association. Dr. Pradeep is asking how much TRAB is considered high. So it's usually 3 times the upper limit, which we consider to be high in that regards. Dr. Pankaj is asking how to know volume of thyroid gland clinically at ultrasound give measurement. How do you look at the size?
Size by ultrasound.
So ultrasound actually gives you volume as well. And when you are talking about the actual intervention for radioactive iodine, the recommendations are to use an ultrasound to look at the volume, and 1 ml is 1 gram. That's what they usually recommend. So they consider it like an ellipsoid. And then you measure it like ellipsoid, both lobes, and you get an exact volume and mass from there. What chances of audiopathy after radioactive iodine therapy? So after radioactive iodine therapy, does the orbitopathy increase?
There is no indication of increase in orbitopathy.
You may worsen because of during. So what they're asking to say that after radioactive iodine therapy, does the orbitopathy worsen?
And instead, it is what chance of orbitopathy after RF therapy, but
Yeah, so what they're saying is that if this is there,
worsening.
it will may worsen on that. As we present, so post RA, what are the chances of orbitopathy? So antibodies will be there. See, basically what radioactive iodine is doing, what surgery is doing, is only removing the thyroid gland. It is not removing your autoimmunity. So what I'll talk about this when I talk about congenital thyrotoxicosis is that antibodies may persist. But when your gland is not there, gradually that will also go down. So by 3 to 5 years, those antibodies will also go. So in pregnancy, we talk about 3-year to 5-year figure of monitoring. Suppose somebody had radioactive iodine therapy, still 3 to 5 years pregnancy may affect the baby because antibodies are positive. But as you have cured the thyroid, the levels generally tend to fall down from that.